Good morning, everybody, and a riveting talk this might be, first thing in the morning, Sunday morning. The limbic diet. The limbic diet. The issues are in the tissues. And as such, the more issues one has, the more tissues they carry. That will be extrapolated as we go. Why is it that two people can religiously follow the same diet, do the same physical exercise, and one achieves results while the other one does not? Why is it that the Atkins diet, which advocates carbs, protein, low carbs, achieves massive weight loss for some but makes little difference to others? Why do some people that go on the blood type diet, an approach that advocates that each of the blood types are biologically suited to certain foods, some get results and some don't? Why is it that the South Beach diet, which focuses on the glycemic index, not calories, or the grapefruit diet, both work for some people and not for others? Or what about exercise? Is yoga better than Pilates, or Pilates better than yoga? Is it better to sweat it out 3 times a week doing aerobics or weight training? The purpose of this talk is to highlight that there is more to dieting than what we eat and what exercise we do now, following on Dr. Cortez's talk yesterday on genetics and how someone with a different genotype can take up, this was quite interesting, can take up lycopene from a tomato at a different rate depending on the genetics, as opposed to one genotype as versus another one. So obviously genetics has a big role on how we respond to different stimuli. But then again, going on again what Dr. or Professor Pollard said this morning and a few others yesterday, does genetics alter with expression of stress or not? Can we downregulate that? We know we can downregulate expression of genes through diet, but can we also downregulate and change expression of genes through stress and stress response or perceived stress responses? I don't think that's actually ever been looked at specifically, and I think this is a new area that might need to be explored along with as the biochemistry and the pathology that we've been exposed to so far at this conference. So introducing the limbic diet, which is complementary to every system and will only serve to enhance results in a faster, more long-lasting way. It doesn't compete with other diets or exercise regimes. It actually enhances the results that one might achieve. It will not actually stop anyone doing what they're already doing, but it will actually facilitate the patient or the person to get the optimum result that they can actually potentially achieve by following the limbic diet. The limbic diet is a master key that will unlock any diet system to make it more effective by turning the body's own innate ability and intelligence to help heal itself for every individual, specific, unique person. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Nothing's a cure-all. We all know that, and we're all humble to know that. But the limbic diet means that whatever avenue you do choose, diet, exercise, ideally a combination of both, you or your body will be congruent, working together to achieve your best individual result. It's a matter of getting your psychology and physiology congruent, whichever path you choose to take. So to understand the implications on your health and to fully appreciate the limbic diet, we need to look at the anatomy of the brain. 1950s, Dr. Paul MacLean proposed that we did not have one brain, but we actually had 3. Unfortunately, Dr. MacLean died last year. In December. He was a physician and neuroscientist, great contributions in psychiatry, physiology and brain research. MacLean's evolutionary triune brain theory proposed that the human brain in reality, there was a reality of 3 brains: the reptilian complex, the limbic system and the neocortex. MacLean found that the 3 brains are connected by each and seem to operate in its own brain system with distinct capabilities. The 3 brains in order of evolution are referred to as, so in the process of the reptilian brain, the limbic and the neocortex. Other names used are archipalian for reptilian, paleo-mammalian for limbic and neopalian for neocortex. So you've got your 3 brains. the reptilian, or being the brainstem cerebellum, the limbic, the hippocampus, hypothalamus and amygdala, and the neocortex. Reptilian brain drives to establish and defend territory. The limbic, otherwise known as also the visceral brain. Interesting, it's also known as the visceral brain, being that the viscera do control weight as well. Has got to do with emotional energy and a necessity to have self-identity. It's to do with feeding, which was all about the limbic diet. So it's obvious, it's a good synergy to actually go to the part of the brain that it has to do with feeding. Feeling, instinct and fornication. The three Fs with one I in the middle there. And neocortex, the modern computer, the consciousness per se. So the reptilian brain, self-preservation and a fight-flight response. The brain is responsible for muscles, balance and automatic functions. It consists of the brainstem, medulla, cerebellum, pons. The limbic system was first coined by MacLean in 1952, known as the mammalian visceral brain. It concerns itself with feeding, emotions, instinct and sexual behaviour. Physiologically, it involves the hypothalamus, hippocampus and amygdala. Now this is important, this slide. If anything you get today, please get this slide. The limbic system has vast interconnections with the neocortex, which really means that the brain functions are neither purely limbic nor purely cortical, but a mixture of both. Now this is really important. MacLean highlighted great danger in the limbic system's power, because it is the limbic system, not the more advanced neocortex, that is the seat of our value judgments, and is therefore the lesser evolved of the two that decides what is right or what is not. What does that mean? You say you're going on a diet. You're going to stay focused. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You coach yourself. And before you know it, you're at a party and you've got a piece of chocolate in your mouth. You think, oh my God, I did it again. And that's actually the limbic system overriding the neocortex. Again, if we just take it out of the realm of the diet, we all saw the Olympics, and we all saw that pole vaulter that, I don't know if you saw it or not, but in Athens, he had 2 attempts. His first attempt was near perfect, and his second attempt he fell and he actually lost his gold medal. This year, in the China Olympics, he repeated the exact same performance. His first vault was near perfect, and they all were saying on the commentary, let's hope there's no repeat. Let's hope there's no repeat that occurred in Athens 2004. He did his second pole vault. He fell exactly the same way. So what is that? The guy needed to get some therapy to reset his limbic response. The same happened to one of our Australian, I think it was either an archer or a shooter. He did the same thing in Athens, and in the last round, his shots were off target again, and he got a silver as opposed to a gold. And the same thing happened to him in Athens as it just recently happened in China. So these conditioned responses needed to be, if what not a better word, extinguished, because their conditioned response and their emotional reactivity was still entrenched in their plasticity of the trauma that they would have gone through earlier on. And that's the limbic system replaying the experience as opposed to the neocortex driving it. And why does that happen? Let's go to the black box. Let's go to 1 to 2. Let's go sensory input going in. The red area would represent the limbic system, emotional thinking region, emotional memory recall and region, and the emotional judgment. Now that occurs in 12 milliseconds. Let's look at the time frame. Rational thinking region, which is the neocortex, occurs in 25 milliseconds. So logic says the limbic system is going to respond a lot faster and quicker, and you're going to react as a knee-jerk reaction a lot quicker than if you wait for the neocortex to come into play. So if you have an impulse, or if you have to perform quickly like a high-performance athlete, or if you've got food in front of you and you're hungry and you're not thinking rationally, well, the neolimbic response is going to cut in a lot faster than the neocortex response.